morning, guys. As you can tell, I am just crawling out of the bed. Haven't been up very long yet this morning at all. Ready to get the day started. Gonna probably do some couponing around town, so I figured I'd take you guys with me there. But for right now, to try to get motivated and get going, I'm about to go make my morning smoothie. So I thought I'd show you guys what I start my mornings with. So you can see that I'm gathering up everything that I'm gonna need to get this smoothie started. First thing I always start with is chia seeds. If you guys are having a hard time with lots of cravings during the day, this is definitely something you should add to your diet because they swell in your gut and they really do make you feel fuller longer. And then of course I'm gonna let those soak in some unsweetened almond milk. I'm gonna let those set for about 15 minutes while they swell before we come back and get those going in the smoothie. So I just take a 1 tablespoon measuring cup and just stick them down in there. I give those just a good little shake, make sure it's even, and dump them right down into that cup. And then we want to measure out just 1 cup of the almond milk. Now that really just depends on how many that you are serving for. I'm the only one around here that drinks these smoothies, at least at this point. Not sure if I'll be able to recruit anybody else into these or not. But for right now, it's just me. So I just take 1 cup of the milk. Dump that right down in there. You guys recognize this huge mug from the Dollar Tree? Love these things. My son loves them too, so we only picked up 4. I think I'll definitely be going back for 4 more. Anyway, we just give those a good stir. Now we're going to let those wait for about 15 minutes. Now after about 15 minutes, when you stir up these chia seeds, you'll see down in there how they're getting super thick because they are absorbing that liquid. And you don't have to use the almond milk. You can use whatever liquid that you want to use. You can do these fully overnight, but because I don't want my smoothie to be quite that thick, I just do mine right before I use it. But some other things that I add into my smoothie is about 5 to 6 of the frozen strawberries, 1 banana, and usually my banana is frozen right out of the freezer, but I had run out of bananas, and when I picked these up last night, I totally forgot to cut those up and put them in the freezer. So today it's just going to be fresh. I usually put 2 dates in there. Sometimes I will use some pineapple either instead of that strawberry or with it, but my pineapple is sitting over there and it's still just a little bit green, so we're going to let that yellow up a little bit. I also put in 1/2 to 1 teaspoon of this matcha, which is just a green tea powder. This is great for revving up your metabolism, and it also curbs your sugar cravings. And I also use 2 tablespoons of a coconut oil, and it's best to get the organic cold pressed kind if you can find it. I found mine at Sam's Warehouse, so that is a good place for you guys to start if you want to find that there. But 2 tablespoons of that. And then I also use 2 scoops of this pea protein. It is a vegan protein powder, and I use 2 scoops of that. So I'm just gonna put all these together down in the blender and get that smoothie ready. These smoothies are a great way to start your day. They are packed with protein. I believe there's about 30 grams of protein right there in that shake, which is definitely what you need to start in the morning. That chia seeds combined with your coconut oil and your green tea is going to keep those cravings at bay. I won't even be hungry now for about 3 to 4 hours after drinking this. So if you're trying to lose weight or just maintain weight, or you just want to get healthy, definitely throw in that coconut oil, throw in that green tea, and throw in those chia seeds. Well, I am finally ready, you guys. I tell you, it takes a little while to get a smoothie that size down, but they really do fill you up. Since I have started to try to really pay attention to what I'm eating, I find that this is really the best thing for me to curb my appetite and to keep me feeling full all day. And I have noticed some remarkable differences in my skin and just the way I feel. More energy, more clear in my mind, just as far as being creative, even with my thoughts. Before, I was so sluggish and seemed to be so tired all the time. And since I have added these few elements into my diet every day, and the easiest way for me to get them is in that smoothie, I feel so much better. So I just want to encourage you guys, if you are feeling sluggish and tired and just not really motivated every day, a little change in your diet can go a long way. And of course, add the water. Your body needs water every day, and dehydration is one of the quickest things to make you feel worn out and tired, backaches, headaches, and even nausea. I've learned that even being dehydrated can make you just feel nauseous all day long. So I'm finally ready, and slapped on just a little bit of makeup so that I could head out to the store. I'm going to take you guys along with me, but I'm not real sure about being able to record inside the stores. I'm kind of new to this whole vlogging thing and haven't really done much of this before, so it's kind of a little awkward. And today I'm by myself because my kids had some work that they needed to catch up on and some things that they needed to do with their schooling. So anyway, Mom is on her own today. I'll be braving the stores completely by myself. And I tell you, when you are couponing, especially the way that we do it to really try to get the best deals possible, it does help to have some extra brains along and some extra calculators. Usually in the store, my daughter and son are both running calculators, one to find out price per item and one to keep a running total for us. So it's going to be quite challenging today doing that all by myself, but gotta do what you gotta do. But I thought I would take just a couple of minutes while I'm in the car to offer my condolences and my sympathies to all those who was affected by yesterday's shooting. It is just a terrible, terrible tragedy and something that we are hearing too much in our country. I tell you, it just saddens my heart every time. I don't know if any of you were personally affected, if any of your families were involved in this tragedy or not. If so, then please know that my heartfelt sympathies and my prayers are with you and your family during this very difficult time. And maybe you are just like the rest of us and you're just kind of affected by it from afar. I think it does reach all of our hearts and we are all affected to a degree. We do now have to think about security issues in a little bit different way and just feeling secure with going outside of our home and doing normal everyday activities, things that we always just took for granted. We really can't do that anymore. That luxury has been taken away from us in recent years, and it's just a sad, sad thing that we are seeing. But I do want to offer those condolences and my prayers. And you know, I just think that there are a lot of factors that are involved in things like this, and sometimes it's easy to throw out an opinion. It's easy to try to put a reason behind why this happens. And throughout social media yesterday and today, you know, I've seen everybody weighing in with their opinions on one side of the issue or not, and some are blaming guns, some are screaming for gun control, some are talking about a family history, some are just really surprised because this is out of character for this young man. There are so many opinions every way you look. And of course, we are all entitled to our own opinion. But the influence that our young people are having now through their entertainment, through their music, There are just so many influences that are bombarding their minds, and the things that they see, the things that they hear, the things that they dwell on. Add into that the factor of feeling rejected in a lot of cases, and broken families. And I know that some of you are probably experiencing a broken family of your own and have gone through some very difficult circumstances in relationships with each other, even with inside the home. And although it's, you know, easy for us to say, well, it doesn't affect anybody but me, and this is the choice that I want to make, that simply isn't true. The decisions that we make in our life affect everyone around us every day. And so there's really just no telling what kind of things have happened in this kid's life, what kind of things that he's been exposed to, what kind of materials maybe he's been reading that has planted these kind of thoughts in his mind. One of the reports that I read yesterday said that he was targeting Christians, and that he would make these kids say before he shot them, "Are you a Christian? Do you believe in Jesus?" And if they said yes, he would shoot them in the head, and if they said no, he would shoot them in the leg or some other part of their body. And so it looks like a very pointed attack against people of faith. I think the influence of the occult in our culture and the rise of darkness is really propelling a lot of these kind of issues. Statements that are being made in the media against people of faith when they stand up for what they believe in, whether they handle it in a right way or whether they don't. Just the fact that you are a believer in Christ makes you a target, unfortunately, in the days we're living in. And of course, this shouldn't take any of us by surprise at all. As a matter of fact, I do have a second channel, Dina Rose Ministries, where once a week I do bring you a small devotional. And this week we did talk just a little bit about that before this tragedy unfolded, actually. And so I don't know, maybe God was just beginning to prepare some of our hearts for some news that we would be receiving. But it shouldn't surprise us in the times that we're living in that persecution is beginning to rise. And so I just want to encourage you, if you are a person of faith, if you are a believer, and I know some of you are not, some of you belong to other religions, and that is a total personal decision that you will have to make, and that maybe you have already made. And there is certainly no judgment from me for whatever choice that you make. God does give us free will. He doesn't force us to believe in Him or to love Him in any way. But if you are a Christian, if you are a believer, I just want to encourage you in these times that we're in to stand strong on your faith. Don't let things like this push you into a corner or silence you, because this is the time when we really must get more bold about what we truly believe in. And this is the time where we have to stand on principle and really just continue to love and share truth, because people's lives depend on it. So be encouraged with that. Don't let it make you afraid. Don't let it make you afraid. Matter of fact, the Bible says, don't fear men who can only harm the body. Fear God who can harm the body and soul. So it's not a time to be afraid, but it is a time to become more aware, more sober-minded, more vigilant in our prayers for people, for our country, for ourselves, and you know, just to be encouraged in those ways. I just wanted to take a couple of minutes today while I was by myself to share my thoughts on the matter, to let you all know how very sorry I am that we have encountered something like this again in this nation. And it is a time that we reach out in love to help those who are hurting. So I'm going to continue this little journey to my first destination, and we'll pick up with you guys in just a little bit. First up for us today is Lowe's Home Improvement. With all the housework we've been doing, we have a pretty large bill I'm fixing to go in and pay towards. Not sure how well you guys can see that. Can you see that moving fish? It's one of those big blow-ups that simulates a fish that you mount on a wall, and he moves and sings with the Santa hat on. How cute is that? Now on to the bank to put more in what I just spent out. That moment at the bank when you have to verify you are who you are to put money in. If I was gonna steal from the bank, I certainly wouldn't be putting it in. So I'm sitting here in my car and spy a little Walmart gift card. Ooh, I hope there's something on that. Stop number 2, the Home Depot, taking a little bit more of our money. Well, that was terribly painful. They say easy come, easy go, but I gotta tell you, it goes a whole lot easier than it comes. Sitting at bank number 2 to make a payment on a loan, and again have to verify who I am. Really? Well, got my hopes up for nothing because the balance on this card is 0. Can you guys see where I am now that all the errands are done? It is time to go shopping. This is one of my least favorite stores, but in my town it definitely is one of the cheapest on certain items. So here we go. Well, $40 later and not much to show for it. I really hate having to buy those items that never have coupons. Here at Winn-Dixie to take advantage of some of their sales and BOGOs. But of course we cannot go without our handy dandy coupon binder. Whew, thank goodness that is over. I tell you, when you're used to having help, you forget quite how challenging it is when you don't have help. So I really missed my kids today. I am leaving Winn-Dixie spending $101 for 46 items. Winn-Dixie's receipts don't tell you how much you saved like the Publix ones do, but that will let me know that I have at least spent an average of $2.21 per item. That is great considering I got chicken legs and chicken thighs, chicken breasts, sausage, all kinds of goodies. I believe I got enough meats and sides actually that would feed us for 8 meals if I've counted it all correctly. So for family of 4, that's actually a very great deal. Most of what I did get were buy one get one frees, and I didn't buy anything in this store that I could use a coupon on. Can you guys believe that? But that's still a great deal, an average of $2.21 for all the meat that I got. So you guys check out the BOGO deals happening at Winn-Dixie this week. Now I am finally heading home. Okay, we are finally home and we have all of our dinner done and we've gotten all that cleaned up. So now we got to separate out all this chicken. She's gonna come in a little bit closer with that camera so that you guys can see what kind of deal Winn-Dixie was having today. They had these thighs that were on a buy one, get one free. And I guess you can see the prices there. One was $10.77, one was $11.39. These are about 5 pounds each, so you get the lowest price was taken off, so 5 pounds of chicken for just $11.39. What I'm fixing to do right now is to go ahead and split these up and put them into portion sizes so that whenever I get ready to take them out of my freezer, I won't have to defrost so many at one time, just enough for what our family will use. And then they also had the chicken legs on a buy one get one free. This one here is a little over 4.5 pounds for $10.34. And this one is just over 4 pounds for $9.24. So let's see, there are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 chicken legs in each one. So if we were to, I probably will not separate these out because that would give us 3 each. So that would be a pretty good meal. You can either use these to season up some soup or really just all kinds of things you can have. Throw them on the grill with some barbecue sauce or just whatever you like to do with them. I know that one of my favorite pieces of chicken is still the chicken leg after all these years. So I probably won't break these chicken legs up, but I am going to split these thighs into smaller packages and get them put in the freezer. So that's what I will be doing for the next few minutes. sure we clean everything and bleach it really, really good. Remember, chicken is very bad for salmonella, and you don't want to get sick or make anybody in your family sick. So it's always important to clean, clean, clean. And yeah, it's a hassle. I'm not real fond of buying meat in bulk and having to come home and do this. But if it saves the family money in the long run, then the couple minutes that it takes to do this is definitely worth it. As you can see, we are now finally sitting down. It's probably close to 9 o'clock, I guess, and I am getting ready to film for you guys a tutorial for nails. Those of you who aren't aware, I am an ambassador for Sensational Gel UK, and I was one for regular old Sensational, and when they revamped their program a few months back, for some reason, they did not keep me on, but Sensational UK has. So I just got some new goodies in the mail, not sponsored by them or paid by them, but they send me some of their products in exchange for posting pictures on social media to promote their products. So hey, I'm fine with getting free polish. So I'm gonna sit down tonight and see about putting together a nail tutorial for all of you for breast cancer awareness. So you can be looking for that in the next couple of days. And as soon as we get this done, we are gonna call it a night. So I wanna thank you guys for sticking around with me today, and we will see you tomorrow.